Namaste, Jai Bharat. Charles Darwin was a scientist, precisely a biologist, who really made a break. Of course, the entire European knowledge tradition is with many breaks in all kinds of fields. So, Darwinian break, the evolution theory, origin of species, if I get the name correct of his book, was a breakthrough in multiple ways, especially for the background of the religiosity or the religious kinds of background where the concept of God was becoming used to be very powerful. So, against this background, this theory comes. This theory is still pertinent, still meaningful, and now obviously shall continue to be meaningful in its own place. It was definitely a pathfinder and an indicator, origin of species. He discusses how biological evolution took place, by and large correct, with much variations, etc. That of course is very permissible, because as the scientific knowledge advances, there will be refinement, there will be additions, there will be subtractions. All these things are quite possible in the cognitive world of knowing, empirical world of knowing. It's there. That's wonderful. But given the theory of Darwin, and with all ambitions and hopes, evolution is understood to be, or ought to be, progressive, towards progress. Its progression should be the one important criterion of the movement, moving upwards, moving forward, etc. This must be the fundamental spirit of any kind of evolution, any understanding of evolution. Fine, but then today let's look at the human race. The human race has evolved. Again, from the point of Homo sapien being, should evolve forward, and does evolve and did evolve. But let's ask the question, these evolutions are they progressions or at times regressions? Physical evolution is one thing, but then man has to be understood as a mind-body combination in all kinds of understanding of man, in all varieties and variants of understanding of man. It's a mind-body combination. You talk only about the bodily evolution, physical evolution, but how about the mind of man? The mind is supposed to evolve, and it does evolve. It did evolve, but to many, it did not evolve. They suppress such evolutions. Then, even the present knife-edged time, I call it as knife-edged time because any time is before, any time is after. Even now, there are functionaries in society who takes you back in time, who takes the mind of man back in time to very barbaric thoughts. They go back. They go back. So what happened to the mental evolution of man? The given mental evolution of man should have been frameless. There could be two kinds of frames, positive kinds of frames and negative kinds of frames. I am making this distinction, and I shall not be able to speak about these things are positive kinds of frames, and these things are negative kinds of frames, because this shall depend on your social knowledge tradition. But you all can make a distinction between something being positive frames of mind and something being negative frames of mind. And whatever is negative frames of mind, you should be not going back. There is always this possibility of one society looking at a different society, making a different kind of progression and evaluating themselves on their appearance and on their functions. not to copy what happens elsewhere, but by the sight or by looking at the progression and development and achievements possibly, one can assess oneself that these people have reached this stage, and these people live this manner, these people are this manner comfortable. Where are we? What are we? These kinds of an understanding must be possible for anyone, not to copy, not to copy. Suppose there is a society X in a place Y, and you see that society is becoming more and more comfortable and more free with the nature, with themselves, with also with their co-living beings, and also with other non-living beings and living beings at the same time. That should be archetypally ideal. One can try to approximate that. Should be an archetypically ideal situation. So once there are many such situations are there in front of us in this society, so from any one of this, one must be able to look at them and make some kind of comparison, and on the basis of such comparisons make some kind of evaluation. Where are we? So this is the only thing possible for us, and which one should do is one society should be doing to go forward. But generally there are situations where the progressed society has been taken back through whatever reasons, through whatever narratives, through whatever forces. All these things are available to you. I need not to speak more about it in deep. Look at societies, many societies, why should I name nations, where once upon a time people were living in a much more free situations, and suddenly this regime change. Different people come with different kinds of norms, laws, and imposing them to them, and they go back in time. They go back in time, at least in our perspectives. At least when we look at them, we find them going back. I wonder what do they feel themselves. Naturally and obviously, they also should be feeling that going back in time. But the present regime or the given regime won't let them express their views, should be the situation. So, Darwin's evolution had been wonderful, great, absolutely, no doubt about it. But then that's only physical kind of evolution which you spoke about. There we need a kind of a theory on evolution of minds, from being negative to positive, being destructive to constructive. This kind of work has not been done in this world. Maybe isolated thoughts must have been there, but they have not developed in the society. Someone should work in this direction, but then should work in this direction. How this would be plausible, possible, I cannot predict. But that is a necessity. Evolutions of your mind should be free. Your mind should be free, and then only you will have anything free within you, thoughts, expressions, whatever. Of course, coercion must definitely be absent in capital letters. Only under such situations there should be the coercion of whatever kind must be absent. Let's hope that situations may change in future. We meet again with some other thought. Namaste. Jai Bharat and Jai Shri Ram.